more of a normal clinical schedule. Like, I love it. It doesn't help us with graduation. We are paying for it. Still have all of those test cases to complete. It is May 20th today, and we're gonna pick up some vlogs or vlog of external rotation. So I'm gonna explain what that is, and then I will take you guys along to rotation. But I wanted to talk about external rotation here at University of Michigan and what that looks like for fourth years. So we have 3 semesters every school year. That's important to know. So we just started our first semester of fourth year. And every semester as a fourth year, you leave for 4 weeks of external rotation at a clinic throughout the state of Michigan. We have several different sites, and at a given time there are 2 to 4 students at every site from my understanding, and we're separated into 3 groups, A, B, and C. So group A has already gone on rotation for their 2 weeks, and I'm group B, so we're heading out on Sunday for our first 2 weeks, and then when we get back, group C will leave for their 2 weeks. And all the students are basically randomly assigned to a clinic and with a random group of students, and if you're group A, B, or C. I'm going to Cadillac, Michigan, which I don't mind saying because I won't be there when this goes up. A little bit south of Traverse City area, if you're familiar with that, but a 2.5 hour drive. Pretty much every rotation except for one location, you come back on the weekend. So mine is a Monday through Thursday, 8 to 5-ish. And then Thursday night we'll drive back to Ann Arbor. We have Friday where we can take the day off, or we can go into school and assist, mentor, go in the specialty clinics, do whatever. We just can't see our own patients is kind of the only con. And that's just because they count on students being out on rotation when they're budgeting like how many clinic chairs they needed to build at the school for the renovation. Some other frequently asked questions or things you might want to know is it paid for? How do you get there? How does this work? So we're not being paid for any of the work we're doing at the clinic. It's just part of our educational experience. So if anything, we are paying for it through our tuition, but there's no additional expenses that we have as students. So they put us up in a pretty standard, nice hotel. We'll get to see it together for the first time tomorrow. They usually have breakfast at them. I know my site has a little gym. Then you have the option to use a car provided by the School of Dentistry and carpool with people at your site. So I'm the one driving myself and another student from my site, and I'm gonna pick up the car tomorrow. So I can kind of show you guys how all this works as it goes. And then they reimburse you for gas if you're using the school car. So not really much expenses incurred on my end. There is some things I'm doing to prepare, such as packing, obviously, so I can show you all what I'm bringing. And then I'm also meal prepping a little, so I can run by that now. I don't know if you guys are ready to see the craziness that is my room for packing right now. It's crazy. I just got back from my parents, so I washed all my clothes at their house and my bedding. My plan is carry-on suitcase for my Memorial Day trip, big suitcase for rotation, and then a couple little bags or like a pile of stuff for my second rotation. I have enough scrubs, I have enough everything I would need to do 2 weeks of rotation packing right now, so it would make my life easier if I do it all now, so that's kind of my game plan. There's not too much to bring to rotation. You need scrubs every day. And then I already got my loops. This is just a little zip up I plan to wear if it's chilly in there. I have my stoggles here too, which are just safety glasses. So let's take care of all of this. So took off to Cadillac, picked up the school car, and packed everything, including all of my food, and then we drove here. It was about a 3-hour drive. All right, it's Sunday and we've arrived in Cadillac. This is the terrain. It's nothing too exciting. It's pretty farmland desolate over here, but the clinic is about 4-minute drive away. So we're gonna leave around 7:35 tomorrow. We have to be there by 7:45. Just since it's our first day, we want to make sure we give ourselves a little extra time. So I'll probably be heading down to breakfast around 7:10 tomorrow, just to have a quick bite before we head over. But I wanted to show you all the room and probably debrief after clinic tomorrow. They're very, very, very strict. No phones in the building, so there won't be any clips of the clinic. but I can let you all know what kind of procedures we get to do and how the dynamic works with the staff that's always at the clinic versus us as student externs. But here's the room, got a little desk nook and a nice king bed, which I'm looking forward to. Pretty big TV, and then I was glad that we had a full, well, pretty spacious fridge, bigger than probably your average hotel fridge. I already put my foods away there, and microwave, you know, the usual stuff. Bathroom is tiny but functional, and there's a closet over there for me to hang up my stuff. So I had to walk to the dental school to pick up the school car, drive the school car back to my house, load it up with all my stuff, go pick up my classmate that needed a ride, and then drive here. It was about 2.5 hours. Okay, solid experience. We'll see how things keep going. Good morning. It is 6:45. I just got dressed, obviously, and I'm getting ready to go down to the hotel breakfast, and then I'll bring my classmate and myself over to the rotation site. The 2 other girls with us took their own cars, so I'm responsible for getting my classmate to and from rotation because I volunteered to drive the school car, essentially. Packed everything up. I'm not bringing very much, just my lunch for the day with just like a taco bowl thing, and then my white coat, loops, and safety glasses. Okay, day 1 debrief. We started off with a really long orientation the whole morning. We got there at 7:45 and we're done with orientation at about noon. We usually get a 30-minute lunch break. Today's was about like 45 minutes just because we finished with orientation early. Then we went up into the clinic and the doctor showed us around a little bit more. We just have one preceptor doctor for the 4 of us, and she is checking our cavity preps or whatever we're doing and our fillings, then also checking the hygienists that are in the clinic, doing their exams, and then sometimes sees her own patients on Fridays. And then obviously if there's anything we can't do or can't finish, then she's able to step in and finish that. And we're paired up together as I thought, so we have 2 rooms per group, so there's 2 of us for 2 rooms, but we alternate seeing patients, so they just kind of set up each room and flip-flop. One patient here with the provider, next time I'd be in the other room with the patient, then we just go back and forth. And usually they said they have 7 patients scheduled for us a day, so one person gets 3, one person gets 4, then the next day it would be 4 and 3, but because it was just our first day and we had orientation, we did 3 patients in the afternoon. So I saw the second patient, and my friend that I was paired up with saw the first patient and the third patient. And mine was a 6-year-old pediatric patient, and I did 2 restorations on I and J, little box preps, and it was tough, but it went okay still, and I'm proud of myself for doing my first fillings on baby teeth. I'm about to head out to go to dinner though, so I'll get some clips in TC if I think about it. Otherwise, I will talk to you all tomorrow. Good morning. It is Tuesday here in Cadillac, Michigan, my second day of external rotation, and today we should have a full clinical day. I know we had orientation yesterday, but today we should be able to see our full set of patients. As I mentioned, we switch off, so there's 7 in our roster for my pair of dental interns, so 7 total, and then we split that. So we alternate between seeing patients. My group yesterday got pretty fortunate. We had 3 patients. We did a crown delivery that I assisted. I was the provider for the 6-year-old patient's restorations, and then I assisted on another filling for an adult patient. But my classmates that were there, so the second group of interns, most of their patients didn't come. I think they only saw 1 patient. So that can happen, as you see with my normal videos in dental school. Sometimes patients don't come, and it's very disruptive to the schedule and to our clinical experience. But that's how it is because it's real people and people have things going on in life. So fingers crossed that we have a lot of great clinical experiences this week. I know the externs that were here the past 2 weeks in the same site, some of them did full mouth extractions, surgical extractions, where they were sectioning teeth. Someone did molar endo. And again, the more complicated things are assisted by the dentist preceptor, but they're letting you do it. They're like coaching you through it. And all of the patients sign a consent to be worked on by us dental interns, as well as all the normal paperwork that you do at the dentist. So that's kind of the scope of things, and I'm gonna go get some breakfast downstairs, hotel breakfast, it's not it, as you all know, so it's not really amazing. I'm probably gonna go to the grocery store tonight to get a bit more fruit and things because I've eaten the stuff that I brought already. But last night was a blast. I just didn't have time to go to the gym at the hotel here or to get groceries, so I'll probably just get a little bit more fruit and snacks tonight. And I'm hoping to go explore downtown Cadillac a little bit. It is very tiny, but they do have a few nice lakes here, so I want to maybe go to one of the parks on the lake, and I'll show you all of that and give some updates when everything's finished. Back from Tuesday, and we're gonna go walk around the lake and get dinner somewhere casual and quick probably, and then I do want to work out tonight. There's a tiny gym at the hotel. I definitely miss my workout classes. We'll be back pretty early. It's only 4:30 right now. We got out about 45 minutes early. I will run through everything that I did after dinner and exploring. We did see, I think, 7 or 8 patients today. I assisted my roommate and classmate on a handful of exams and fillings. I myself did another pediatric patient's filling and in the morning, and then I did a upper lower denture wax try-in. So for pros, things like that, you just kind of jump in whatever steps that they're at for the dentures and do that appointment. And then patient's problem focus exam that was in pain, and it turned out that the tooth should be extracted, so we went ahead and did the extraction of number 2. I almost did it all myself, but I couldn't quite get it out at the end, couldn't quite get the mobility that I needed. I was close though, better than I have been, so I think I'm one step closer to being competent with extractions. For molars, they're just really tricky. They're really stuck in that bone, especially if they don't have like periodontal disease or anything. They're not wiggly. So to take a completely stable tooth, well, it's compromised because there's giant decay to the pulp and they don't want to get root canal. So that's why it's compromised, but in terms of taking it out, the bone is still very much holding it in place. Like there was no lesion or infection or anything. So it was pretty tough to get out, but I think I did a lot better than I usually do, and I'm hoping after next week and then the following 2 weeks of this rotation that I will be a lot better at extractions. And then I did a few more patients for restorations. So good day, very busy. It's fun just doing a lot of dentistry and having more of a normal clinical schedule. Like, I love it. Another day, more updates from clinic. So today is Wednesday, day 3 of rotation. One more day this week and then we'll be back next week. And we had another full schedule. I feel kind of bad because the other pair of students, like I said, were paired up, have been having way more cancellations or appointments not going to plan, and I just feel like they're not getting quite as much operative work as we are. But I feel fortunate to be getting a lot of practice. So I'm trying to think back to everything we did. I officially have all of my test cases done for restorative for 4th year because we're allowed to do one of our test cases on this external rotation to count towards our requirements back at school. Everything else we do here doesn't count for any credits or anything towards graduation. It's just experience, an amazing experience. I'm really, really, really loving it, but it doesn't help us with graduation. I'll just work backwards. My last patient of the day was another pediatric patient, 9 years old, and we did an MO and a DO on 2 of her primary teeth. And then I had another patient where I did a few more fillings. That's where I did my 3 surface posterior test case. So I did an MOD on number 4, and then I also did 9 distolingual and mesiolingual on that same patient. And earlier in the day I had a really fun appointment because I haven't gotten many crowns at dental school at all. I've only prepped on natural teeth twice for crowns. Everything else has been redoing existing, or there's like a tiny bit of recurrent decay, finishing up the margin. I haven't really had things that meet the requirements at school or that's giving me a ton of practice just drilling down a full crown prep. But today the patient needed 3 and 31 done in the same visit. So I finished those and I was pretty speedy. I was pretty proud of myself. And then we got the final impression for the crowns and made the temps all in about an hour and a half. We got all that done. I think the preps probably only took me like 10 minutes each though. It was pretty quick and they were molars, so I was pretty proud of myself and it was fun. Again, unfortunately none of that counts towards my requirements for prosthodontics for school, which crowns are part of prosthodontics technically. So still have all of those test cases to complete for prosthodontics, but my restorative half of graduation D4 requirements are checked off. So that is awesome. It's a very good feeling. For consistency's sake, so you know what I did on Friday, I didn't have a lot of patients myself. I did number 2 OL on a 19-year-old, and then I had a patient come in that had an extraction about a week and a half prior and was having a lot of pain, so they came in for a post-op and then got antibiotics, and they came in again, now this time when I was there, because antibiotics weren't helping. They were still in a lot of pain, a lot of swelling. So what we did is we had to open up the extraction site and kind of curette out the granulation tissue, and that will give the extraction site a chance to heal correctly this time, now that the patient is on the antibiotics and the steroid, and then I sutured that up. So it was nice suturing practice. I was mostly just assisting, and there were a lot of cancellations since it was right before a holiday weekend. And then I went to Madison to visit my sister, and we drove up to Kohler, Wisconsin, and did a whole thing with the spa and dinner on Whistling Straits Golf Course, and then we went to the state park there, and then we drove back to Madison and had some fun times there since we had an extended weekend. It was really fun with my mom and my sister. I posted so much of it on my Instagram stories if you aren't following me there. And now we're back here on Tuesday, which is when I'm recapping. Today I would also consider to be a slower day. Coming off of the holiday weekend this time, there are also a lot of cancellations. So I said we have 4 students and we are paired up. So they gave us both full columns so that we could alternate patients, and then they made another entire column of patients that would kind of float and fill in as they knew there would be cancellations. So we didn't have too much downtime, but we were still kind of in that alternating instead of each seeing our own patient. But what I did was a gold crown delivery, and then the patient had an existing lower partial where the survey crown was just placed. So we had to kind of adjust the partial a lot so that it could actually fit, since the teeth have drifted while the partial was at the lab for the crown to be made. So a lot of adjusting of the partial. The actual crown delivery was pretty easy. And then I saw another patient that was referred from a different kind of government clinic. This is a federally qualified health center, but a different kind of system where they basically just screen the patients and refer them and say like tooth hurts or like tooth broken without any explanation of what might actually be going on. Like, I don't think they're necessarily screened by dentists, but the patient came in specifically only able to address that one tooth because this government system that they're referred from pays for just that one thing that they're referring for. So we just looked at the one tooth, problem focus exam, diagnosed that the tooth needs a root canal, core and crown, or to extract, and the patient opted for root canal, so they got that scheduled, but it was just the exam portion. And then my last patient of the day was a 12-year-old that had a really tough time last week and got rescheduled for this week and was a lot better and was able to tolerate the procedure well. We administered the nitrous and she was very calm throughout the procedure, and I was able to do 2 restorations on her that she needed. So that was a nice way to end the day and positive for that patient to be kind of progressing and not so freaked out at the dentist. But I haven't done much this evening. It's really, really hot out in Michigan now, like 85, which for me is toasty. So we got Slurpees after clinic, and I've just been hanging out. It's about 9 p.m. now, so I'm kind of winding down for the day. But I've been editing, doing different things for my ASDA positions, kind of looking into patient things since I'm getting back next week. Want to make sure everything's ready to go. Clinic's going to be very hectic when we get back, so I'm kind of dreading that a little bit. So it's already a month later, and apparently I didn't film after that clip. I'm not surprised I didn't film Thursday, the last day of the clinic, but I am surprised I didn't film on Wednesday. So apologies for that, but I think this video is already getting pretty long, so it is a good time to wrap up about my first 2 weeks in Cadillac on this external rotation. I actually go back pretty soon when I'm filming this clip for my last 2 weeks, and then in the fall we'll be assigned to a new clinic site for 2 weeks at a time, and then again for our last semester of dental school to another clinic site, totaling to 12 weeks total. So I'll be sure to document more of that, and I know the other sites are a lot more busy than the one I was at, so I'm interested to see how that looks in the future. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.